Hi everyone, my name is Kia. Today I'm going to talk about open source to you guys. Open source describes a method of providing the final source material during the product's development and production. Some people think that open source is a philosophy thought, and others think that it's just a kind of pragmatism. Before the widespread of this word, lots of developers and producers use many words to describe this concept. Open source is widely used on the internet. Thus, participants need a lot of updating of computer source codes. Open source makes the production module, communication channels, and interactive community improved. Subsequently, a new copyright, software license terms, domain names, and consumers to create open source software was born. The concept of open source module includes the method of same time but different time histories to produce. Relatively, it covers more centralized software design models, such as the typical business software company. The main principle and practice of open source software development is peer production and barter trade cooperation, which is through the free and open final product, original information, blueprints, and documents. This is gradually applied in other fields, such as biotechnology. Strictly, open source software and free software are two different concepts. Software which accord with the definition of open source software can be called open source software, OSS. Free software is a much more stringent than the concept of open source software. So all free software is open source, but not all open source software can be called free. In reality, the vast majority of open source software are also consistent with the definition of free software. For example, software which complies with the GPL is open and free. Open source has its own definition that was defined by Bruce Perens. He's one founder of Debian. The first one is free distribution. People who obtain the original code is able to spread freely again. And the second one is source code. When spreaded program's executable file, it must come with complete source code necessary to make easy or can get the source code afterwards. The third word is derived works. After people can modify the source code, it can spread in the case of the same license terms. The last one is the integrity of the author's source code. It means the modified version should be distinguished by different version numbers with the original program code to protect the integrity of the original program code. Any person or group may not discriminate. There's a lot of open source businesses: IBM, Red Hat, HP, SUSE, and Google. Of course, there must be more open source software such as GNU, Linux, X11, TX, SOAP, Plone, and Eclipse. For the example of my country, the development of open source in China is very slow. Although Chinese IT major education schools are able to get a lot of new people, but the whole IT education is still at a lower level. More schools pay attention on CS procedure, like Java, Net. These contents are easy when they compare with the real development. If Chinese education cannot follow global development and global consumer behavior, the community still has no chance to realize prosperity. Open source can apply in lots of areas like financial business, games, internet, education, operations, code management, and security. With the development of open source software, humans get more benefits. Firstly, with the enhancement of calculating ability, integrated development environment become more intelligent, more convenient to obtain ready-made libraries. At the same time, application development become easier. Secondly, with the one-time investment feature of software, hardware can even be replaced by software in many occasions. Thirdly, the consumer electronics are close to people's life. The number of software developers and other various needs get rapid growth. The last benefit is that project builds tools and resources dependency become more convenient. The system development does not need to start from zero because people can use free frameworks in the industry to do second development. In modern society, 78% of companies are using open source software. Only less than 3% of companies do not have any open source software. Since 2010, the number of companies using open source software for IT business environment rose twice. Thus, the use of open source for enterprise is everywhere. Of course, the future will become more exciting because open source technology brings a lot of benefits to our lives. Thank you.